This is a relentless game, turning life's chaos into power. This is a relentless game, I've been out grinding 10,000 hours. This is a relentless game, always put my faith inside of God that won't ever stop. Turning life's chaos into power. This is a relentless game.
The Relentless Game, turning life's chaos into power. Seth Humphrey here, Coach Christian. So this past week, I had a client who has been a integral part of my growth and my faith. And I'm like, when somebody that has made an impact on me says something or gives some type of advice or suggestions, I'm like all ears, right? And so I got that from one of my clients, Reese. He back in 2019, I started. He was coaching with me way before that. Had a coach that left and poached some clients, and Reese decided to stay with me and not go with that coach. And I stepped in and started training at that time. And by doing so, we started building a relationship. He started inviting me to his church. Got a new pastor back in 2019. I started at the church, and next thing you know, and I got rebaptized in April 2020. It's kind of crazy. I found my kid's Bible from back in. My mom had given me a Bible from when I got baptized. It was April of 2000. It was April 24th of 1994, and I got baptized like almost the same day. Is like April 24th when I got baptized, April 20th when I got baptized in 2020.
Wow.
Anyway, got crazy. 16 years difference or something like that. But anyway, 6 years difference. I don't know. So it's difference.
Something, yeah.
Long time. So anyway, my point with that was Reese came to me. We had to start having a discussion. He said something to me. He's like, there's this book that I've been reading. He's like, I really think that you'd like it. Really think you need to read it. Reese doesn't ever, like, that's just, if you know him, he's just not how he is. He kind of stays to himself. And so I'm like all ears, like, okay, I download the book right then. And I'm listening to the book the other day. And I brought this up to you. We talked about it. And we talk about this a lot. Like we talk about Paul. Christian, especially men, they read stories about Paul, and he had all kinds of resistance that he went through, from being shipwrecked to being beaten to being imprisoned. And like, you look at that and it's like, man, that dude went through it. And then we have our issues and our problems, and they're a little bit different. Like we're not getting imprisoned, we're not getting beat and things like that, but there's still problems and there's still issues. Yeah. And so as I was reading this story, the guy was bringing up Paul, and part of what the story was the lashings that Paul took. So it told a story about Paul had, and he lists it in, I think it's Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, he lists it out. But he has all these things that he's like, I was imprisoned, I was this. But he brings up, and he's like, I had 5 lashings, 40 less 1. What they mean by 40 less 1 is back in Deuteronomy, when they would give lashings, God made it a rule where you couldn't lash individuals and make a spectacle of them and go overboard on the lashings. You had to stop at 40. And so the Pharisees would make it back when they were giving lashings out, they would follow the law. Even though they weren't following it by the spirit of it, they wanted to follow the law. So what the law for them was like, all right, we're going to do 39 lashings. That way we make sure we don't go over on the lashings. And so they'd give Paul 39 lashings, and he had that done to him 5 different times. And they talk about these lashings as like, it hurts so bad they would have to turn you over on your backside and do half on your backside, and turn you over on your front side and do the last part on your front side because it hurts so bad. Here was the thing, though, that was the biggest insight. Anytime you had enough, your spirit was broke. And maybe it was 5 lashings in. If you just like, I'm done, and they needed something from you or wanted something from you, or your spirit was broke and you just like quit, I'm sorry, I'm done, whatever. then they had to quit and they quit. Paul had 5 different bouts of 39 lashings, meaning that when they would give him those lashings, they never broke. Like, and I just think about that mentality of like, okay, you're gonna give me these lashings, cool, and just take it. And then they not ever be able to break him. And it started making me think, I'm a creator. So next thing I know is I start going into like, man, I'm that 39 lash kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like I've
You've
been
got some
through,
resistance.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've been through it. So I'm like, that's the type of mentality that there's nothing special about me. Is just like as I started to level up back in 2014, there've been problems and issues and struggles over and over and over again. So I just started to change my mentality of what those problems and those resistance meant. Then I changed the mentality of like when I deal with some type of resistance or some type of problem, I'm gonna start looking at that as I'm headed in the right direction. I'm making progress right now, and that's what I'm gonna start looking at it as. And I just think that if one you looked at and you changed the way your perspective on problems, you looked at it that way, but the other side of it is as becoming that 39 lasting kind of guy that where it's like, hey man, whatever comes at me, I'm just gonna continue to show up regardless of my mood, regardless of my feelings, regardless of my emotions. And I'm gonna do the work that's in front of me. And yeah. And so what does it take to become that 39 lashing guy? How do you build that guy? So yeah, that's one I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into. But go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah. Something I want to touch on is when you go through that resistance in life, not letting it change who you are and how you show up and what your character is. So just because you go against that resistance, you don't fight evil with evil. And I think this is why God allowed Jesus to die the death that he did. I mean, one of the most brutal things you could ever see. And you could ever read about. And I think I think God wanted to show like, and Jesus is the ultimate example of how we should live. And so whenever you go through something so terrible, but Jesus never fought that. He never had retaliation. He never fought that evil that they were doing to him with evil back. He just went through it. And I think that it's the ultimate outlook that we need to have too. Like, if Jesus could go through that, man, we're going through nothing even compared to that in life. So continue to have that outlook. Like, man, Jesus did this and he suffered all of this stuff for my life, for me to have a fruitful life. Like, nothing in life that I go through could even be compared to that. And I'm not going to let anything that I go through in my life change the person that I am and make me an evil and bitter person. I'm just going to continue to keep goodness in my heart and continue to show up despite the resistance that I go through.
I was reading in Isaiah today, and Isaiah was a prophet. He was prophesying. He was like, he was describing Jesus that this guy was going to come. He's going to take your sins. He's going to take the beating, and it's all prophesied. He was writing it back in Isaiah in the Old Testament, and then to see it and how it came to fruition, it got me it got me thinking about just how God has a plan, one, but that's the other side. Is you can look at the problems and the issues. It's like God's got a plan that's obviously there, but also that He's trying to teach you a skill set and a mindset that He's going to have to He's going to have you use when you uh, step up to the next level of leadership that He has for you.
That's how you find peace in the resistance right there. Whenever you just submit and you know that, hey, I'm going through something, this sucks, but it's has given me the opportunity to go through this. It's because he's molding me into something that way my story is more impactful. If you, man, think about it, all the stuff that you've been through. If you never been through any of that, you wouldn't have been able to impact me the way that you have. You wouldn't be able to impact these men that you were called to do, but the resistance that you've gone through in your life, God from the time you were born knew that you were going to be a leader for men. And if he just gave you just a smooth sailing life, you wouldn't be able to relate to any guys because guys have been through some crap, man. And so the stuff that you've been through, that's where you find that peace of like, man, God put me through this so I can do this. It's not for me, it's for everybody else. And having that outlook, man, is that's where you find the peace and just like, man, this is the life that I was meant to live.
And that's the other side of it though too, is like, we know that there's going to be, we know that there's problems. We know that life is one problem after another. And so that's what we're trying to do with the Guerrilla Alliance is like, okay, like let's become that 39 lash kind of guy. When we're becoming that guy is understanding that that guy, you got to prepare that guy.
Yeah.
Meaning that like, if Paul wasn't if Paul wasn't his faith wasn't where was at, and he didn't have like,
If he wasn't physically fit.
if he didn't have the experiences that he had, and he wasn't like spiritually fit, he wasn't physically fit,
Uh-huh.
wasn't mentally in the place they needed to be, then yeah, then like that's most like Paul. Like if he wasn't doing the work that needed to be done to weaponize himself, then yeah, he'd probably been a five lash guy and would tap out early and go from there. And so that's all we're wanting to get across today is like problems and issues are coming, and you can be that 39 lash guy where it's like they come and it's just like, "Yeah, here it is. I'm gonna learn from it. It's gonna build me. I'm gonna learn the skill set. I'm gonna build the mindset, but I'm also not gonna sit back and not be prepared and act like I didn't know the problem was coming either." And that's ultimately what we want to do inside of the with the guys that we coach inside the Drill Alliances is let's get and let's make it where we're unbreakable. How do we do that? How do we make ourselves unbreakable? And so, like, like I said, I'm the action taker. First thing I did was start looking at it and going like, what is it that is working with what we do and what doesn't work? And knowing what we know now, what would we do differently? And so I start going in and looking at it, and I talked to you about that. I was like, you know, first phase of what we're doing is that unbreakable phase is we need to kill some virgins off, meaning like something that you need to for 39 days that you just need to step away from, whether that may be alcohol, that might be porn, that might be weed, that might be food, whatever it is that you just need to not necessarily step away from food for 39 days. Like I just got done with sugar for like 38 days. Step away from it and start to kill that flesh side of yourself off. But then on the other side of it is prepare and weaponize yourself first thing in the morning. Start taking control of what you put in your mouth and your eyes and your ears. And then on the other side of that, start being intentional with getting in the Bible and learning and taking some type of wisdom that you put to work every single day from the Bible. And now we start to do these things. We start to mold and start to build that unbreakable man, that 39 lashing kind of guy. And that's ultimately what Christian and I want to surround ourselves with, because we want to have individuals that know they're in the fight, but at the same time they want to get prepared for the fight and ready for the fight. And yeah, that's what we are offering is let's go through 6 months of working with us. And that's 6 months of working with us. That's what we will go through. We'll start to refine ourselves and make ourselves and build ourselves into that guy, and then start to deep dive a little bit deeper into things that we need to improve on and get better at that we can finally start to see. Because that phase one is a wake up. We wake up, we start to like, now we're asleep at the wheel, and now we're awake, and now we start to see things totally different, right? Once you start to see things different, you start to see how small you've been playing in other areas. And then once you're awake, then we can submit. Submitting means that like now we go, okay, I'm going to take a knee and I'm going to realize that my way wasn't working, that I've got a lot of work that I need to improve, and that I've been playing small, even though I'm getting better now and I'm awake now, I've still been playing small, and I got to submit to who I am, and who I have been, and I need to submit to the man that God's called me and created me to be. And when we start to wake up, we can start to reveal and see more of those areas that are not necessarily where they need to be, and submit, take a knee. Then we can start to put a game plan together in the phase 3 as to have it all. So we start to work towards in every area of life, start to become that guy in our body, in our relationship with God, our relationship with our wife and our kids, and our business and our career, and the people that we lead. Everything starts to level up as we start to get clarity on what's not working, and we start to come awake to the facts. And that means part of waking up means quit lying to yourself and go from there. So
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing that we do inside the GAs. We show men where they need to take action at. And as a brotherhood, we're able to give clarity to each other. Hey, this is where we need to take action. Hey, this is where you need to take action. But we call each other up. And I think that's where a lot of guys is they get into that mentality of, I'm good. I do know that God's got me. And yeah, God's got you, but it's a slippery slope of saying God's got me. I'm just going to chill here. Like, no, we're called to take action. So God's got you, but there's still things you got to do to weaponize yourself to be able to handle the resistance that life is going to throw at you. So you're not just called to sit back. And so in the GA, that's what we do is we give clarity on, hey, what do we need to take action on? That way it's clear and simple and laid out. And then you take action on that, you weaponize yourself, and you ultimately just grow as a man. And that's what all men are trying to do is just get better and grow. And then you're going to start to see the fruit of how it shows up in your family, how it shows up in your fitness. And man, then from there you fall in love with the game. And that's why we've been playing it for as long as we've been playing it.
Yeah. So that's what we invite you to is one, let's get you physically fit. Let's work on nutrition. Let's work on bettering ourselves. Let's work on weaponizing ourselves, not only physically, but mentally, spiritually, showing you a different way. Part of that's getting in the Bible and using the Bible stack and using that direction. We have the Relentless Faith Bible Experience every Tuesday at 6:15 p.m. Central Time. I'd invite you to that. That is free. That's an entryway in to start to learn and start to get in that way. And then ultimately jump in and work with us inside of, like I said, commit to 6 months of coming in where we're going to get you into shape. We're going to work on and teach you the tools that we've just talked about and get you to a place to where you are you're slowly revealing more and more of the man that God created you to be. And that's ultimately what we want to help out with and we do help out with and go from there. So if that's something you're interested in, whether it be the Relentless Faith Bible Experience, whether it be jumping in the guerrilla method, start to put that into play, you can reach out to me and Seth at theguerrillaalliance.com. You can my Instagram, seth.p.humphrey on Facebook and Instagram, and just reach out to us, shoot us a message, and we can point you in the right direction there, and then go from there. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you can find me on Instagram at boo_train6. All things fitness, nutrition, guidance, you can find me there.
Yeah. So we'd love to have you. And for the Relentless Game, turning life's chaos into power, that is the episode for today. We appreciate you guys and be that 39 lashing kind of guy. Don't break. Know that you're going to learn, you're going to build, and you're going to ultimately on the other side of it, it's not going to kill you. It's going to make you stronger. Having that type of mindset is going to set you up to win long term. So have a fantastic day and reach out to us and we'll see you on the other side.
This is a relentless game, turning life's chaos into power. This is a relentless game. I've been out grinding 10,000 hours. This is a relentless game. Always put my faith inside.